Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I am glad you are here. On this day, I've been going through my large family mothering book and taking topics and different things that I've thought about as I was kind of like planning out my days. And as I get older, I think it so becomes like a normal part of it. Like I forget the basics in a lot of things. So I wanted to go back and kind of revisit a lot of those and think, okay, is there something I can do in my own home and in my own part of my life right now, the current season of life, to kind of do what I used to do to make things run a little bit more efficiently and smoothly in my day. So I thank you for being here. I'm glad you're along, and let's get into today's video. Today's video is going to be all about efficiency in the home. Now, I do not have this all figured out to a T. There's plenty of things that I can do to make things more efficient. I think that's why I constantly go back to like moving things around again in my home and like, okay, let's plan this. Let's do meals this way. Let's do this. And then, okay, I'm going to get to making homemade things versus like buying so much things. It's like an kind of evolution of things, going through things in life and becoming more efficient in things. And this is very dear to my heart because I think as a homemaker, as a wife, as a woman, just a person having something God has given to them, a home, an apartment, a place to live, wherever that may be, it's like He's given us that. Okay, what can we do with the resources we have? Like I know if I had a job outside of my home, like maybe some of you do, like I'm sure you want to be the best person at that job, right? I know when my kids work and they're working at their jobs, and I know Brooklyn just started a new job, and it's like, they're hard workers. Like we've taught them to like be kind, be polite, go out of the way, smile at people, you know, give it your all no matter what you do. And I see them in their jobs and I see the different rewards they've received, the different recognition in such a short amount of time. And they're like, wow, that's like, I'm just being like a normal person, like a kind person. I'm just, you know, talking to people, asking them how I'm genuinely, care about their day. And I said, but that's not the normal. That's not what people do. They have noticed it in their jobs. Like most people don't really excel at their work. And it's not everybody, mind you. They don't really care to like improve themselves. If they're happy to have a job, okay, good enough. And so teaching like you want to get better. You always want to do more. I think that's why a lot of people are here. I think my channel has weaned out a lot of people. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I'm not so much into just like, wow, look at my shopping. I still go shopping. Wow, look at all the great discounts I found. And there's nothing wrong with discount store shopping. Or look at the great finds I found. Or, this and that. But it's more about like, here are some tools. You can do the same thing that I'm doing. Does that make sense? And it's like, I know things that I've learned, things I've learned over the years, things people have given to me, things that I've, watched and modeled, and then started doing my own life. It's like made my life so much better. And so to be able to like, you're here, you want to learn, you're here, you want to take some tips to better your life, and what it doesn't need to be all of them. Maybe there's a few that you can implement in your life, and that to me is awesome. And so like, that's the audience you want to have. Those are the people you want to have. I don't mind you excited for my grocery hauls. I'm excited for grocery hauls when I have discount store. Oh, miss the discount stores. I love finding a good deal. I would love to go to the discount store and find and try to save some money on my grocery budget. That's exciting. But it also excites me that like I can just like, okay, instead of making chicken patties, buying chicken patties at the store, I can make them myself and these taste amazing. So like all of those little discoveries, I'm excited for those things. And so same thing like now, this excites me because like, I feel like it's helping. It helps a little bit more instead of like, wow, look at all the deals I found. It's like, here's some tools. You can find those deals. You can make those things from scratch. You can have more efficiency in your home. So I am glad that you are here. That excites me. It gives me a lot of motivation to want to keep getting up and sharing each day. So on Tuesdays, we're going through and we're decluttering different areas of our home, one room at a time. But on this beautiful Thursday, we are going to be looking at the overall picture of decluttering. We'll talk about the heart behind efficiency and how we can honor God through the way that we manage our home, our time, and even our hearts. So whether you're in a season of chaos, I've been there multiple times, or you're just trying to tackle the clutter, or you're just simply looking for more peace in your routine for daily life, this video is going to be for you. So grab your cup of coffee or tea and settle in and we'll chat. Let's start with clutter, because to be honest, it's something all of us deal with, right? Yeah, the only time I don't deal with clutter is when we're moving because I feel like we weed out as much as we can. And then you move into a house, that's how I do my house. And I move into a house and I'm like, wow, there's We have a lot of empty space. What can we do? And then you live here and then you start filling it up with things and then you're dealing with clutter all over again. So one thing over the years, I've learned that clutter isn't just about things that are taking up space in my home. It's about the mental and emotional weight that comes with it as well. For me, it started with realizing that I was buying into the idea that my kids needed to have everything. They needed to have this, this, and this in order to be happy. I needed this, this, and this in order to make my kitchen function. This is when I was a younger bride, thinking I need to have everything that my parents have at their age at 50 and 40 years old. And then my closets need to be overflowing or I wasn't gonna be happy. But you know what happened? All that stuff became a burden. The kids' toy room was a disaster. We had a great toy room. We had an entire room dedicated to toys. We'd go in there and play. But it would take me all day to clean that toy room up. Same thing with clothing. There was a whole closet full of clothes and I really only wore like 5 or 6 outfits because I was at home all the time. Same thing with my kitchen. I find that in my kitchen, and I was using so many different things, and it was something as simple as getting rid of my whisk for my mixer because it was like one more thing to have to store somewhere. So one thing I've learned, the less you have, the more peaceful that your home can be. Less stuff means less cleaning, less organizing, and more time to focus on what really matters. And I know this to be true because I even know it in homes. Like we have had smaller homes, we have had larger homes. The smaller homes take way less time to clean. I even think of moving into this house here. When we first moved in, we just didn't have that much stuff because we got rid of a lot of stuff. We have replenished all that stuff over the years, but there was not that, the cleaning was quick. I remember thinking, I used to have Motivation Mondays and I'm like, wow. And like it literally was done in 2 seconds. And I'm like, wow, my cleaning is done. Like I don't even have to do anymore. And so I know that's so true about cleaning. It does, if you have less stuff, it's way easier to clean. Let's get practical. If you're ready to tackle clutter, here's how you can start. I'm a list person. I like lists. Now back in the day, I really enjoyed having a notebook. I had a homemaking notebook, like a master notebook. And it was just a little binder and I had a little piece of paper that I put in there for different things. And one of the things was I wanted to go through and declutter my home. And so what I did is I write everything out. Now, kind of like we're doing on Tuesdays, we're gonna be doing through the whole year. I wrote it out and I'd write down every single room I wanted to declutter. And then I broke up every single room. Do you remember the old outlines back in school? Like big Roman numeral 1 was like the kitchen. And then big A was like drawers. And then little a was like declutter drawers. Remember doing all those things before? Okay. So I would break it down and write on paper. That for me was good to see and I can just kind of mark it off. Now Tuesday we're going through and decluttering for the whole year. I have my book that you can go through and check it off if you want. That's one of those things. But write your own self a list. Make it on a piece of paper, a notebook paper. If you need to visually see it and mark it off, it's just a satisfying thing to be able to see it marked off when you're done. And then you constantly have to gather your tools. You have to gather your tools, your container for your giveaway pile, right? And then you need one for trash and then one for relocation into a new area of the home. And then also bring a bucket and a rag because you're gonna clean something too. Soapy water and just soap, good old soap. You don't need fancy cleaner. Soap and water, vinegar and water, even better. And as with everything, pray before you begin. Things can get overwhelming. My day can get overwhelming. It can get overwhelming just filming videos. It can get overwhelming just taking care of my kids for the day. So if I don't start my day with prayer, and all right, God, guide me with what I need to do. Help me with my day, guide my steps, show me what I gotta do. It makes all the difference in the world. Now, I was reading through my book, Large Family Mothering. This chapter, Efficiency in the Home, I'm gonna give you the excerpt from that book. So I'm gonna offer that as a free download below. You can get it. You can kind of read through how I wrote out efficiency in the home back in the day when I had little kids. Now, when I had little ones, it was a little, myself, this is what I would do. I went through and decluttered their room when they were sleeping and taking a nap because it was so much easier. When you have little kids, they're like, don't get rid of that, don't get rid of that, don't get rid of that. And you like constantly are going through like, what do you need, what do you, and it was just too much of an issue. So instead just did it myself. Now as I had teenagers and they're responsible to do their own, I say, okay, let's go through and declutter your room. Let's go through. And sometimes when their whole room is just like a big giant disaster, let's just do it in sections. Let's just take your closet. Let's take your closet and go through and declutter. Let's go through all your clothes. What's good, what's ripped, what needs to be replaced. Let's go through any kind of items you have on your shelf, anything you have on the bottom, helping them and involving them in the process. And sometimes as much as we want to have it done in one day, moms, I know that just does not work with everybody. I mean, I personally, if I had an entire day to dedicate, I would go through and do my entire house and do everything. But I'm filming, I have life with kids, my family needs to eat, I'm much more responsible than just for me. And then also my kids are not like their mom. So I have to look at some of them and go, okay, why don't you just focus on your desk today? Can you just declutter your desk off for me today and get it cleaned? And then that's their goal for the day, is one thing. And I think, okay, one thing. So then I break it down for the week for them. I say your desk one day, your closet another day, okay, your bed and everything under your bed another day, and then the floors, then, because that's kind of the end. And then 5, go through and wipe everything up. Wipe your light switches, clean your fan blades, make sure it's all tidy, clean your windows. And then I break it up, and then in a week's time, instead of me being stressed out like, gotta do, they're able to do it as well. And then that works for me too, or maybe for some of you, it might work better to break it up that way as well, instead of going overall on everything. So you can break it up into days, however it works best for you. So my encouragement for you is start small. Just like we're doing over on Tuesday, start small, but start with something. Even if you clean out just one drawer this week, that's progress. That's why I'm so encouraging on Tuesdays, because it's like, if you just did one thing, awesome, like celebrate that. But the key is keep going. Don't just do one. Keep going to the next one. If it takes you 2 years to go through your house, in 2 years, you're so much further ahead than you were this year when you had nothing done. And then the same thing, we're going through physical clutter, but we're also going through spiritual clutter as well. It's a good helpful, even on my little list that I wrote, I would write down different things that I wanted to do to better my days. And it was working on my relationship with my husband. It was having more time with my kids. It was little practical things, because they didn't just come and happen. I had to specifically write that goal out. And then I had to go, okay, what are some steps that I can do to achieve those goals? Now let's talk about scheduling. Efficiency isn't about what's in our closet or what our drawers look like. It's about how we manage our time. I've learned that a peaceful schedule starts with putting God first. In Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3, it reminds us to commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. God's word is truth, and if you really do trust and put your faith in Him, He'll help you even with the day-to-day things, even with how to schedule out your days at home. We might think that's so minor. It is not in God's eyes. What you do in life matters to God. And taking care of your home is one of those things. So here's what it looks like in practice. For number 1, pray for your week. I know for myself, I usually take a day and I sit up in my office and I look over everything I need to do for the week, and I start with prayer. And I ask Him to show me things that need attention and what I can let go of. And it might be something like I need to specifically spend a little bit more time with one child. Or maybe I'm neglecting something in my home that I need to pay special attention to. And sometimes maybe you're just feeling overwhelmed. I know for myself, even just the last couple years moving here, I felt like everything was just so much, because it's a lot. I'm older, and I feel like, sometimes, yeah, you can get through things, but it can feel overwhelming. Laying those things out before the Lord, He cares about you. He cares about the things of your life and your home. And I've found that when I seek Him, He cares about those big things and those small things, and He's gonna make things work out for you and get you right back on track. For busy moms, try to make all of your appointments in one day. I have had a lot of kids. I've had 10 kids, yes. For our appointments, I try to get them all scheduled at the same time, if feasible. And now I have found that does not work everywhere. There is many places that we have been to, doctors and dentists, where I'm like, can I just bring them all in? Can I just block out your entire morning? And they're like, what? I'm like, oh yeah, I could bring everybody in. But I know that not everywhere does that, because we do have a current place where they don't take everybody at one time. So I have to schedule them differently. So you got to do what works best for you. Sometimes that might mean, I know for us, we have dentists coming. So I'm just going to tackle it and try to get it in all within a week and just get it done. It's going to be an inconvenience, but I know that during that week, okay, I'm just going to know that we're going to have to go and just take 2 at a time and get everybody in. So however that works for you, I usually try to schedule also at different times. Now, back in the day, where we lived before, I would try to do early morning appointments, because you're the first one in the office. You won't have to wait, or right after lunch, because you're the first one, you won't have to wait. If you schedule 10, 11, it's during the day after, you can kind of get behind if they have other patients before you. Same thing in the afternoon, you can kind of wait. But what I have found here in Florida, that anywhere you try to schedule early in the morning, if you are not out in my specific area, mind you, not everywhere, in my specific area is if you try to leave at 7:30 in the morning, you're driving more and longer because of traffic delays. And so I would always schedule first thing in the morning, and then I go, oh my goodness, I have to leave way longer, an extra hour on top of what I was going to do before. And so that goes out the window for me here. So now I just try to do them right in the afternoon. And so I used to always do early morning, early morning appointment right away. And I'm like, no, because it actually takes me longer because I'm in the car more. So now here, I kind of try to plan in the afternoon, because it just works better for traffics and backups where you're at. So you got to do what you can do for your family, and try to, if especially yearly appointments, dentist appointments. Try to avoid like those busy months, like May, right before school gets out in June. August, when they got to go back to school. December, forget that. They're in the holidays. No, don't even do those times. Do it the other times when there's not a lot of busyness going on in your life. Leave space in your schedule for rest. It's so important to do that. I am a busy mom. I've got a lot going on in my life. There has been seasons where it's just busy all the time and I don't have much time to rest. And I can see how it takes my toll on me. And I've learned that, okay, I have to at least take one morning, one afternoon to make sure I sleep in, make sure I get the rest I need, make sure the time I get the rest to chill and not do anything, just to be able to, for myself, to keep on going. You don't need to say yes to everything. In fact, saying no can be one of the most freeing things you do. But I understand if you're like, don't want to let people down and you like to do things, you have to be able to rest and be able to say no. It's important to listen to God and say, okay, should I take that on? Should I take that on? Or is that something I should not do? And so I know for my own life right now, what I have found is most important is making sure that I get up in the morning and I take time with the Lord, no matter what that looks like, and that I make time every single day to walk, even though I don't feel like I have time, but I know that it's so important that I do those things in my days for me to be able to have a successful day and a successful week. And if I don't, I see how it gets me so down. Now that's just my current season. Back in the day, could I have done it all the time? Probably not. It just depends on where you're at in life. So set those times out for rest and really make sure you get them. I know myself, like today, I know later in my day is going to be busy. We're going to be going to dinner at Jaden's. And so I was like, I want to make sure we get out during the day today, which is going to be beautiful outside. So it's going to be a little hotter. We're not going to get as much walking in because it's going to be a little toastier. So I'm going to go this morning, even though I'm filming videos in the morning, filming my Bible video, and that takes time. I'm filming this video and I want to get it done before the kids are moving so we can do school. But I knew that, you know what, just go. It's literally 20 minutes. If I can get 20 minutes of walking in, I'm gonna feel so much better for my day. And so I just got up, I waited for the sun to come up and I went. And then I went for my walk, I came back and I'm like, okay, how much better I'm gonna feel versus like, hurry through my day because I want to make sure I get my walking in. So however that looks for you, just make sure you give that little bit of room so that you can get a restful time and relaxing for you. When my kids were little, we had 10 at home and I was taking care of them full time myself all the time because Greg was working. I know that I was busy from the time I got up till the time I went to bed. There was not a lot of chance to take a break. Now I needed to sleep in. Back in the day, I was not a morning person, I was a night person. So my mornings, I had to sleep in right until the kids got out of bed, then I was moving. But I knew that nap time came and I was exhausted sometimes. I needed my nap. But instead of taking 2 hours for a nap, I just went, okay, I'm gonna give myself 1 hour for a nap, and then I'm gonna get up, no matter if I'm tired or not, and I'm gonna do something else I need to do, like spending time with an older child or making sure I get something done. And then later in the day, I went, okay, every day from 8:30 till 9, no matter what, because sometimes you fall into bed exhausted and you haven't even done anything for yourself. I said, you know what, I'm gonna give myself some time to get some exercise, whether that's walking, whether that was turning on the Wiggles. Do you guys remember the Wiggles? Yes. It was a little bit earlier in the night. And the kids and I would dance, I'd do some exercises on the floor, and so it worked for some things. So whatever your season is, just make some time for you. It doesn't need to be an hour of everybody go away. I didn't get all of that. That was not even feasible in my days, just to have time. Now, my kids are old enough. I can sit and film and it's quiet. There's nobody here but Maxine. I can go for walks by myself. I could not do that before. I did not sit there and tell my husband, you got to take off work so that I can go and exercise for the day. I was not like, oh, you worked 70 hours. Okay, take care of your kids so I can go be free. I did that on times, but not all the time requirement. I just looked and searched out my day and went, where can I make time for me? And there is always some kind of way. You just got to look for it. A full schedule is not the same thing as a full life. Focus on the things that matter most: your family, your health, and your walk with God. So what I'm gonna do for you to help you get on your daily habit tracker is I'm gonna give you a free download, link below. It's one of those papers that you fill out and it's got the little bubbles you can fill in. Is that satisfying? I think it's satisfying, where you know that you can go through and go, okay, walk, and have bubbles to go every single day, and you can mark off every day and you can be able to see your progress, and it's free below. Go ahead, get it. It's a daily habit tracker. Good thing I have found to be able to do for myself. Now, back in the day, I wouldn't have printed out something like that. I would have used a piece of notebook paper, and do that. That's the same thing as well. Get a piece of paper or write down your goals that you want to do every day, whether it's how much water you want to drink or drinking water, and then mark off how many glasses you drink a day. Walking, whatever it is, spending time with the Lord, spending time with your kids, whatever is important, your daily habit tracker. So below, I'm gonna give that as a free resource and download for you. One of my favorite tools that I used to use to help efficiency in the home is a timer. It's amazing how much you can accomplish when you set a timer and stay focused. Now, back in the day, we used to have those little egg timers. Remember those where you twist them and then they come back and they ding? Now, we've had so many of those over the years. The kids broke them so many times because they played with them over and over and over. Then thank the Lord for digital timers that came along, right? This is before phones, mind you, I'm older. And so then we had the little digital timers, and that was a little bit more expensive, but it still worked for keeping the time. We even used like alarm clocks and set the time to have things go up. But now we have phones. You have so much more easiness now. You have a phone to set timers to get things done. Here are a few ways that I have used timers in my home over the years. For a quick cleanup, we did this when one of my friends came and stayed. They had a large family. They have a large family, and they stayed at our home. And then after dinner, they set a timer on the microwave and they set it for 10 minutes. And they said, okay, everybody, let's hurry up and do a quick cleanup. And now everybody sprang into action. They set the timer and everybody ran around the kitchen, cleaning the tables, wiping the tables, sweeping the floor, picking up the food, putting it away, washing the dishes. I mean, and they were flying, getting things done. And then someone would stop and be like, it's got 5 minutes, it's got 3 minutes. And they were trying to hurry and get things done. And then they were finished. They're like, did we make it? And then they made it by the time the timer was done. And that just brings some excitement. So mamas, or even teenagers are hard to motivate sometimes. I know, I have perfect teenagers. No, I don't. No, my teenagers, they're perfect. Yes, they're perfect, but they're human, right? Just like me. Yes, we could say we're perfect. We don't complain, no, but we're human. We have days like that. So there are times they get crabby. There are times they don't want to clean their room. There are times, that's just normal. It's part of life. They're never going to be happy all the time. So timers help that. Okay, I'm gonna set a timer. Are you ready? You have 10 minutes to get this accomplished, or you have 20 minutes to get this accomplished, and maybe sometimes a small reward. You do not need to do this for all of them. No, when my kids were little, I'd reward them with like a chocolate chip. Now, mind you, we just didn't have a lot of money, and having treats and that was just sporadic. And so I would be like, okay, you're gonna go throw this in the trash. I mean, these were toddlers and little kids. You're gonna go take this trash and you're gonna go dump it in the big trash for mommy. And then I give them a chocolate chip. I know, it's so small, but you could use the same concept for other things. And it might be, all right, you're gonna earn 10 minutes of video game time, or whatever. Or even yesterday, my kids are older. Even yesterday we were doing some things for school and they had to memorize some things. And it's been one of those pushes to get them to memorize. I said, it doesn't matter. I'm like, this is something you have to know. You just have to know this for life. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You got to learn it. So you just have to. So I said, okay, when you get this accomplished and you learn this here, and there was a bag of chips. It was something as simple as Tuckies, and I had that and white Cheez-Its from my leftover Christmas stash. I still got a box in my closet. And it was one of those things where like their snacks are almost gone. So it was like, oh, okay, we can have a chip. And mind you, they could care less about the chip, but it motivated them to like get that done. Another thing you can use a timer for is homework time. Now, sometimes this is when kids are in school and they come home, they got a lot to do. Sometimes it can be overwhelming, right? I know even homeschooling my kids, it can be the same way. So sometimes setting a timer and saying, okay, you have to work from this time to this time, 30 minutes on your math. And let's get that done. And then after that 30 minutes, let's take a break. Let's take a 5-minute break. And I know even when they're going through and studying things now and memorizing things, and sometimes it's hard. I have some that don't like to sit there all day long and do things, and that's natural and understandable because they learn differently. I said, okay, take a break. Let's go do something else. I find like even when we're doing school together as a whole and my kids get in their little moods of just goofy, not paying attention, I said, let's go for a walk. And we take a walk and we go get a 10-minute walk done. It changes everybody's mindsets and gets them refocused on things. I know for myself, think of you. If you're stuck inside an office 24/7 and right here working, if you can step outside for a few minutes and take a break, how much better and refreshed do you feel to come back to that? Is that true? Yes, same thing with our kids, same way. So just taking that timer, setting it, and then going for a walk and come back makes all the difference. And then another way was using quiet time for younger kids. Now, when we're talking about finding efficiency and finding time for yourself, for myself, when you're, I have a lot of little kids, and so nap time eventually stops. And you've got the in-between ages of like the child that is really hard to go with no nap all the way until nighttime. And then the ones where they just give it up, but it's like, you don't have that break and they're all the time with you. And it can be overwhelming. I get it. I've been there 10 times. So we didn't have timers, but we had alarm clocks. So what we would do is there was a little, remember the sleep button? I think it was on the alarm. That's what I'm thinking it was. You pushed it and it was like 1 hour sleep. And it had a countdown on there. And I remember, okay, the kids, we would put them in their rooms and the older ones could do their thing in the room, playing video games or whatever. But the next, the younger ones, the school age kids, And the preschoolers and the toddlers who did not take naps, I would put a baby gate in their room. Now their rooms were childproof and there was nothing that was gonna hurt them. And some people put them in there with nothing. I might have put a show on in there. It just depends on what was good. We did a lot of Baby Faith DVDs. Oh my goodness, do you remember? Like Baby Einstein was huge, but Baby Faith was the Christian version. I think you can only get used videos of that. Those were great. We would put those on in the background and just let them play. And they were in their room. Now they're gonna come out 20 times. When am I done? When am I done? When am I done? So I set that little clock in there. I said, okay, when that's done, that's when you can come out. Now, if you don't have timers, you could put a video in. Put a video in that lasts for 60 minutes or however long, 30 minutes. And okay, when the video is done, then you can come out. That will also, now it takes time and it takes practice. It's gonna take time for them to like not ask you 100 times, okay, what are the rules? You're gonna stay in your room during this time. Make sure they get their drinks, make sure they use their bathroom, and then, okay, this is a quiet time. You're gonna have time in your room. You're gonna be in here for however long you wanna be in there for, and then when the timer is done, then you may come out. And that was how we did a lot of rest times in our home. And I know for our house, that meant our house shut down from like 1:30 to 3, I think it was 2 hours, 1:30 to 3:30, right? That's how we shut down. That means we didn't answer the door. We didn't answer phones because we had phones on the wall. We shut everything off so that for 2 hours, no one was doing anything. We were napping and resting. We even had one of those things that you put outside. Don't ring the doorbell, baby's sleeping. So that ensured a 2-hour quiet. So like your phone, you could probably shut your phone off for those 2 hours and say, no interruptions. I am going to take a nap for 2 hours, and whether it's nap or resting. So that was another way that we did timers in our home. So in addition to giving you the Efficiency in the Home book download, the part of my book I'm giving you free as a download, I'm gonna give you your daily habit tracker. You can download that for free. And then I also have a weekly goal list where you can sit down and fill it out for the week. Take a day on the weekend or during the weekend, run it from like Tuesday to Tuesday, however that works, and fill it out. It's gonna help you set some weekly goals for your week to get done. That's gonna be free, link below, and a room decluttering checklist. Sometimes we might need help going through things, and if you're not doing it with us Tuesday, or you wanna work on a bigger picture and work faster, then there is gonna be a checklist for you, all linked below for free. Just go get it, get some resources. They're free, you don't have to sign up for anything. The beautiful thing, YouTube has ads, and I'm sorry if you have to have ads, but my blog does not. My blog is completely free. You can go over there, there's not a single ad at all. There never has been an ad over there. You can just go over there and download everything you want. You don't even need to sign up. You can sign up, but you don't have to. You can just go and download it. That's a beautiful thing. So just go get this stuff for free so that you can use these tools for your home. So as we wrap up for today, I want to leave you with this thought. Efficiency isn't about perfection. It's about faithfulness. It's about showing up every single day and doing the best that you can with what God has given to you. Your best is going to look different than my best. My best is going to look different than somebody else's best. Everybody's different. We all have different seasons. We all have different things. You cannot compare your life to mine. I cannot compare my life to yours. It's so hard with social media because we get this picture of what life should be, how our home should look, how everything should look perfection, how if it doesn't, then you're a failure. No, our lives, I love the unnormal. Let's normalize mismatched furniture. Let's normalize, cluttered homes. Let's normalize not perfect aesthetic looking homes because it's life and it does nothing wrong with having those things, but your life is different and my life is different. There's nothing wrong with striving and wanting to change things and getting better, but don't make that your idol. Just work on the things that you can with what you have. And let's not forget what it says in Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. Let us not grow weary in doing good. For at the proper time, we will reap a harvest if we don't give up. That's so true with your home and your life. It's hard going through things. It's hard to get things, keep it going, especially when you're feeling a lot of setbacks and a lot of push in that. If you just keep going, you will reap that harvest. Just keep going. Your work in the home matters. It's a reflection of God's love and His provision for you. Every dish that you wash, every meal that you prepare, and every schedule that you manage, and serving your family. So I thank you for spending your time with me today. I hope that you feel encouraged and inspired to bring more peace and efficiency into your home. So don't forget to download all of the free resources linked below. I'm going to give you a chapter of my book. Go read what it was like and how my thoughts were. They're about the same as they are now, just a little bit different, especially if you have little ones. It might be helpful. Of my book, Efficiency in the Home. Go over there and go get it. You don't even need to buy the whole big book. I'm going to give away chapter by chapter over this next little while. So go read that, get that one, and then go download your daily habit tracker. That's a fun one to go get. Print it off, fill in those little bubbles. It'll kind of give you a little bit of like, okay, I did that for this week. It'll be a good feeling. Also the weekly goal checklist and also a room decluttering. If this video has blessed you, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's encourage more homemakers to find joy and purpose in their everyday lives. I think that is such a lost habit nowadays, and it's not the normal. It's looked down upon. Let's bring that back as normal. Let's bring that back as a good thing to serve your families, to serve your homes, to make things run your best here. I'll see you tomorrow, but I'll also see you next Tuesday for decluttering and Thursday for the next chapter in my book. Until then, be blessed, be encouraged, and remember, God is with you every step of the way. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you. Bye.